the participants.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I think we're good, Karen. I think we've got you up front.
Okay. Good, good. Hello, everyone. Karen here from Southern Ridge Trading Company. I'm so excited to be here today. I want to thank everyone for chiming in. And I also want to thank Deb and Tracy and Kim for lighting a fire under my butt, because this is my very first online class. So we'll see how that goes. A little nervous, very excited. Okay, so I think what are we going to do?
I'm sorry, Kim, but I don't know how to get it off of Deb and onto Karen. I've pressed participant, shared screen, start video.
Speaker view, go to speaker view, because we can see her. Karen is on our screen.
I do not have a speaker view.
What device are you on? Are you using a computer, laptop, iPhone, or what? Never mind.
iPad.
Okay, in your upper left-hand corner, if you hover over, you'll see speaker view and gallery view. Select speaker view.
Okay, I'm going to walk you through it.
This is such a team effort. It's so great.
Okay, go ahead and get started, Karen. I'm on the phone with Deb getting her synced in.
Okay, so I think I'm just going to move cameras, see if that'll work. USB camera, here we go. There we go. Move that back, move this forward. Okay, so here is our fun little project. And I'm upside down, aren't I? I am. So, phone. I'm just wondering, I've got to figure out how to move this around so you can see it. I'm such a newbie.
She's using it. I like it, Joanne. Oh, are you still using? Oh, I like your beard. It's a Dynasty. Gold Dynasty. Are you using it right now? What, you want to try it? Yeah. And I'll use it. I just got the brand. Just a second.
I'm not sure how to move it.
No, I don't have it. Just get it wet, put some paint in it, and then kind of flare it out. And just start streaking it. What do you mean streaking it? You know, pressing it. Okay. I like that going in my rake. Oh, that's cool. I might call it. I've got some. I've got this Dynasty one that's great. And I've got this one that's a hanger. And I've done it.
So I'm just trying to flip this around so it's not backwards.
And Aaron is very big. I'm getting too big of a.
You know what? I don't know if I am.
You're passing to her.
I'm just so such a rookie that I don't know how to figure this one out. They did show me.
Too much.
Anyway, I think maybe just have to do this. Turn things around for you. It could make it a little awkward, but that's okay. We'll just go with it. How's that? Okay, so there's our project front and back. This is our little tree ornament truck. So both of them are front and back, and your little tree comes in and out of the box. Okay. Just kind of some samples. And this one I did some rust on with Kim's embossing paste. It's called Chunky Rust. So that's another option for you if you have some embossing powder. Okay, let's start. Now this is what you have. Right there. I might need this kind of up a little bit. Yep, there we go. We're good. Okay, so does everybody have this in front of them? I'm going to also put the supply list down. I'm sorry I didn't include this in your package. That's just another rookie thing that I'm going to have to think about in the future. But anyway, here's your supply list. So I'll give you a few minutes to get that together. A heat gun
Just a little bit.
is really important. All of it is really important actually, but I'm not too fussy on the brush sizes because I just use random brushes.
And then you said just go like this, right? Yeah, just mix it a little bit. Not much. Now you a lot of water. There we go. Not getting up.
Somebody's unmuted and we can hear somebody talking. We can't hear our teacher.
Okay, I'm just giving
Joe Smith is currently unmuted. He's not at her desk though. I'm looking for, everybody else seems to be muted.
okay, we good to go?
Oh, she's muted now. Are you okay?
Can everybody hear me okay?
Go ahead,
Thank-
Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So does everybody have these in front of you? You can see the supply list okay? All righty. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with red paint. Oh, can you hear my stomach growling already? It's lunchtime. Okay, so this is going to be weird because it's all backwards for me right now. Anyway, we'll do the best I can. So I'm just going to start painting your trucks. We're going to give these ones a few coats. You've noticed that this is, it's in a cut apart format. And the reason I do this, there's about 4 reasons why I designed this way. Is number one, it's easy to paint. Everything's laying flat. Chipboard is a very, dry surface, so it's going to suck in your first coat of paint. It's also going to curl a little bit when it's wet. All paper products do that, but when it dries, it's going to lay flat again. So let's just give it a nice regular coat. I'm going to paint the tires too, just because we're going to go over those with black later, but for now, I'm not going to be too fussy. We're just going to get some coverage going. The other thing is your back fender. Now, if you're choosing to paint this truck blue or green, that's up to you. For Christmas sake, I chose red. Red seems to be the popular color these days. This little truck is all over the internet. Comes in various sizes, formats. Mine is a little bit different of a format. I just wanted it to be layers, and I wanted it to be interactive so that it could carry many things in the box. So actually, I'm just going to put that down for a minute. And we're going to dry with the heat gun in between.
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping that Zoom muted my noisy heat gun. Okay, we're just going for coat number 2. Coat number 1 will always sink in and look a little bit muddy, and you won't get that that nice brightness until you hit coat 2 at least, 2 or 3. Sometimes I do 3, sometimes I do 2. It just depends. This is a very good quality chipboard, so it can withstand, you know, several layers, quite a few layers actually. It surprises me. I've used other chipboard before in the early days from the dollar store, and it puffs up and it just, you know, starts looking pretty thick and raggedy after a few coats. So this stuff is from recycled paper, and it's made right here in BC, Canada. So I'm quite impressed with the quality, actually. Alrighty, there's layer 2. And again, just hit it with your heat gun.
Yeah. This lady's smiling, so I don't know if she. What do you think, Smithy?
I was going to tell you some other reasons why I designed the chipboard this way.
More.
Number 2,
I like your
shipping, so it's nice and light.
Bill Smith, you're unmuted. Can you
Somebody
mute?
to mute themselves because
Well, can somebody fix her?
Her which? You okay?
You're okay. Just somebody got unmuted. There is a little bit of issue with hearing. I did suggest that people turn up their computer.
Do I need to move mine a little closer?
Worked for me. So if people are having problems hearing, just like that bad movie where you need to turn up the volume and then you have to turn it down for the sound effects. In this case, just turn up your computer volume and you should be able to hear her just fine.
I turned up my computer volume all the way up to 100, and she sounds like she's underwater, muffled. So I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to try leaning a little closer to my computer. Is that better? Can everybody hear me?
No.
Karen's system is just a little bit older than some of the newer ones, so it's been a problem. What about changing microphones in her system? Have we done that? If we're using her system microphone, as her camera has a microphone, can we not switch to that one?
Karen, can you do the little arrow, the little up arrow by the mute button again to try and get to those speakers and microphone setting?
Is it the top one? Audio?
By your mute button.
Nope. Arrow by your mute button.
You're going to push it and then go to audio settings. Everyone else, if you do the same thing, you're able to adjust some of the input-output levels, so you might be able to get Karen a little bit louder too, without using your regular speaker.
You might be able to select her webcam microphone as well. That might make a difference.
I can hear you great.
I got fancy stuff.
Right?
We acquire fancy things as we go, especially if we. This is Karen's very first, so we're working with. We're getting her going.
Okay.
So Karen, under your microphones, where it says select a microphone, when you click on the little arrow by your microphone mute.
USB, that one?
Yeah, click on the arrow. So up at the top it says select a microphone.
Okay.
You have two.
What
I'm on-
microphones do you see?
Is it the USB one you want me to select, Deb?
So what do you see there though?
USB, same as system, microphone, Realtek audio.
Yeah, do the Realtek audio.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that any better?
No. What about same as system?
System. Is that any better?
It's a little better.
Brenda's nodding her head.
What's your USB one?
That should be her webcam.
Yeah, I think
Click
my
on
USB
the one.
my webcam probably.
Yeah, click on
But
that
we
one.
had it on that. It didn't seem to make a difference.
Okay.
Okay. Is this one okay?
Okay, go down to audio settings then.
Oh, I'm going on mute for a second. I got
I'm not sure where audio settings.
It's at the very bottom. So under,
I'm in the audio settings.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now what you came up, click on audio on the left bar, on the left menu.
Go through there. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, the first one is speaker.
Yeah,
And the output volume, what do you have it set at?
100.
Okay, and automatically detect microphone.
Is it?
what's your input volume? Because that's going to be how loud it's picking you up at.
Okay, first of all, Deb, let's backtrack. When you said speaker, do you want me on audio or same as system?
It, what does that sound like for me right now?
Very clear.
What is showing?
What is showing?
Yeah.
I just, okay, under the top one, it says speakers. And
Okay.
then if my choices are speaker, audio, same as system.
What is highlighted right now?
Audio.
What's the next one? Microphone. The next option down.
Oh,
What's the volume on that one?
same as system, microphone, audio, microphone, USB.
What's the input volume on that?
100%.
Oh yeah, because we did all this. When you click on built-in microphone, what are your options? And you click on the little arrow.
There's that one. Here's built-in
Paper.
Oh. There's a little thing below it that says automatically adjust microphone volume.
It's set to auto.
Yeah.
Put it on. What do you think, Kim? If she puts that on high, will it matter? But it could get all background noise.
There's no background noise here.
Yeah,
That's
give it a shot.
Yeah.
okay. Oh, to download it.
And
No.
So
Okay, what just above that though, under your input volume, you have that at 100%, right? What's
Yeah.
the microphone you have selected there? Is that the system one?
Yeah, same as system one.
Okay.
If you click on the little arrow at the farthest end of that little box, what
Yeah.
shows up?
Microphone audio, microphone USB.
And when you click on the USB, what happens?
On it right now, does it make a difference?
No.
And what's the input volume on that?
Input level. Yeah, I don't know. It just,
Go back into the mute, go back to this arrow here.
I'm gonna go back into my mute for a second. Okay.
Microphone. Okay, so you're on your USB.
System. Yeah, I'm on my USB microphone. The microphone.
What's the input volume
Okay.
though?
Pardon?
What's the volume on it? Is it at 100%?
Yeah, they're all at 100%.
Is it on high?
It is.
Okay. Kim?
So. If I just speak louder, can people hear me or no? Brenda's nodding her head. Anybody else?
Try, yeah, just try speaking louder to see. You're not as muffled with that one though, I don't think.
Okay. Why don't we try to go ahead, and then if there's any issue, you guys can let me know. Does that sound fair?
Kim?
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I was at the part where I was explaining why I designed this in this cut apart format for several reasons. One is that it lays flat and it ships light, which saves everybody money for freight. It keeps the small pieces, you know, like your license plates and your headlights, from getting lost. They can stay in one place to be painted at once, so that's convenient. And there's less curling of the product because it is a paper product. It will curl a little bit. It'll curl a lot more if it wasn't in this format. Keep in mind that it'll curl, but when it dries, it'll lay back down flat. So that's the good news. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to silver. Actually, sorry, red. We're not finished with red yet. We're going to flip this over. We have, I'm just trying to think here. This is the back of the truck. Can you see it right here? We're going to paint the top half of that. Okay, we're going to give it 2 coats. Actually, after I give it a dry. Okay, another coat. And you only have to go halfway down because the fender is going to hide the other half. There, that gives me a little bit more space. How about I do it sideways? Can you see it better this way? Alrighty, let's flip it back over. And now we're going to go with silver. Got a whole tub of silver here. Way more than what I need, but that's okay. Now you're going to paint your grill, your front grill. And that will cover any red that you've spilt over onto these pieces, which is nice. I love acrylics for that reason. And you're going to do your headlights. Your license plates. And your bumper. This is your back bumper. Okay. And again, you're going to want to dry it. and apply your second coat. It doesn't matter if you get paint on these pieces because they are just, these are your middle pieces that won't be seen. How's everybody doing? Yay! Okay.
I like that you showed the 2 steps because it was, chipboard is so porous that it really does change the look. Your silver before kind of was muted and now it's quite bright, which is awesome to see how that works to add
Yeah.
a second layer.
Once you start getting that sheen on top, you know that the first layer is, you know, your paint's now sitting on top and it's not soaked in. So I tend to just use 2 to 3 coats, but this one, I'm seeing the sheen, so we're good at 2. Okay, so now we're going to switch to green. And I'm just using a nice dark forcy green. And we're going to paint our tree. And keep in mind, we're going to be putting snow on this tree, so you're going to need a bit of a contrast. So probably the darker the green, the better. Mine isn't quite as dark as I'd like it to be, but it will work. Okay. And again, hit it with the heat gun. And that layer, I can still see chipboard coming through. So I'm going to hit it with a second layer, actually. And again. Okay, and so this one we're going to flip over and just make sure the paint underneath is dry or move it to another area. And we're just going to paint the back side of that tree. I'm going to need some more paint. Acrylics are so forgiving. I love, love, love them. Okay. And we're going to dry once again. When the snow is on this, keep in mind it's not, you're not going to see any, you know, mist spots really. The snow is going to cover a lot of it anyway. How's the volume doing, ladies? Can you hear? Thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up. All right. Oh, look at that. See? Actually, I'm going to get my baby wipes out. This is what baby wipes are for. So if you need a second to clean some paint off, now's a good time. Doesn't have to be perfect, just not wet. Actually, I'm going to turn my mat over. That would be easier. And I'm going to be able to just get that right up with a baby wipe. And if it's not perfect, I can go over it with these ever forgiving acrylics. There we go. Nice. All righty. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a liner brush, something smaller. And now that you're dry, we're going to go back in with the silver just to touch up a few little areas. Areas like these little rear view mirrors. Can you see them here? I want those silver. There we go. And at this point, sometimes it gets confusing because you're not sure what's going to be covered and what's not. So it's easy enough just to go and, you know, paint a few places. If they're covered, they're covered. If they're not, at least we've got it dealt with. It's kind of messed up. There we go. It might work a little better. This is a tail light as well. 2 tail lights. And this one is a little bit messy, but I can, once it's put together, I can always come back over and touch up. There's going to be a few touch-ups in the end as well. Okay. We're going to hit that with a heat gun again. And if you notice, we're not painting the tires yet. We have tires that we need to paint black, but we're going to do that later. Once this is dry, we're going to cut it apart. So if you have your little snippy scissors handy, just a nice small little pair like this, it's perfect. Okay, and what I like to do is I like to snip all the way around the outside, first of all, and some through the painting process have already kind of broken off anyway, which is fine. There we go, easy peasy. And now I'm going to snip apart everything else. Keep snipping. I make the bars thin so they're easy to cut. I'm going to keep those headlights on there for now because those are the first thing that goes missing. The second thing that goes missing are these license plates. They're so small. So I'm going to put all my silver in a pile. I'm going to put all my red in a pile, and I'm making sure it's dry. Okay. And my tree can go on its own. And why don't we start with these spacers? These are what I call spacers. Okay. And just snip off all the little bars. These are handles, so don't snip these off. These little, can you see that? These little bumps on the side are handles, door handles. Don't snip them off. Just snip off all the other ones, just the bars. Okay, get all your little snippy bits to the side. They go flying every once in a while anyway. They'll be in your hair, they'll be in your computer. Okay, so that's that. Now let's do the red bits. Give them a little snip. Again, not your door handles. If I'm unsure and if I can't get close enough, I just keep flipping until I can get in there. There we go. All right. That one. And the tailgate's easy because he's very square. I try to place these bars where it's easy to snip because I work with my own projects, so I just try not to frustrate myself. Okay, so that one can go this way. This one can go this way. Just keep turning until it's easy to snip. There we go. So many bits. Okay. There, got the red done. Is everybody with me? And your tree. This takes a while, but I find it's worth it. Just because I hate losing my little bits. There's nothing worse than buying a kit and losing your tiny bits. My back bumper. No. Okay, is everybody keeping up with the snipping? Seems that the fussy cutting is in these days. People seem to like fussy cutting. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm kind of an instant gratification girl. All right. There we go. These are your headlights. There we go. So, I think we're done the snipping. Yay. All right, now we're going to do the black on the tires. So we're going to move everything else away from tires. So you're going to see the natural order. This is your back. This is your front of the truck. We've only painted half of this. Okay. So I want you to, let's see. These two will go together. Okay, this fender is going to go on here. So we're only going to need to paint these tires black and these tires black. Can you guys see this? Sorry. I know I'm probably moving out of your view. Black paint. Now, I'm going to take a little brush like so, and he's about as wide as my tire. So I'm going to get some black paint, and I'm just going to This brush might be a bit big. You guys can decide what works for you. Actually, I'm going to trade them in for one this size. Because it has a tip that's a little bit more stable. Okay. So there's your tires. All right. Okay. So once we have that done, okay, this is where we're going to shade around the outside. And I do this with my finger because, you know, in mixed media, sometimes your fingers are just faster. So I'm going to bring this into view here, this paint. I need a wider screen. Okay, so I'm going to dip in a little bit of paint into your finger. Okay, so I've got black paint on my finger. And I'm just going to lightly go around. And for some of you, you might be freaking out right about now because this isn't a perfect technique. This is something that it actually adds character to this project. Nothing is perfect, okay? And it's not supposed to be. Keep in mind, if you get too much on, you've got your baby wipes handy. You can wipe it off. And if all else fails, you can paint over it with your red. Acrylics are forgiving. You'll be fine. Take the leap of faith and just go for it. Okay. If you really hate this and you'd rather do it with ink or a brush, then you just feel free to do that. I'm like Kim. I like fast. Okay, that is going to be, this one you only have to do halfway up because that's all that's going to be seen. Okay. And you're probably looking at it going, ooh, that's kind of messy. I don't know if I'm okay with that. The truck that I showed you in the beginning is just as messy. And again, I'll show it to you. You see how it's got character? It looks dented and rusted, and it looks like an old truck. So that's the look we're going for, is that old, rusty, vintage look. Okay. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to try to turn these around for you. Now, this piece we're going to do as well. This is the tailgate. I'll just go right around that little light, across the top. So that's that. And then we have the fender, okay? And let's go around that guy too. Across the top. And just kind of using our fingers as a paintbrush. And there we go. And we're also going to do it to the fender, the front grille. Just keep turning it. you need to access it and make it easier. Okay, and the back bumper. So we do all this before we glue it together for obvious reasons. Can you imagine trying to do this while it was all one piece? Your license plates. Now, if you want to print any words or, you know, symbols on these license plates, make sure that you're just getting the very, very thin line around the outside. Otherwise, it kind of takes over. And your headlights. Again, very fine line. All right. We are done with that part. So you can wash all the paint off your fingers so that you don't get it all over your piece. Make sure you've got all your black off. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. I wouldn't recommend using your heat gun at this point because you're going to blow your little bits to smithereens and they're gonna take a vacation. So let's leave it like that for a sec. Maybe put it to the side and let that dry while we do our tree. Okay. There. I'm just gonna move these out of the way. Okay. Give that a few minutes. So with our tree, it's now green. We need to put some snow on it. So get your white paint on your palette. And I'm just going to grab a smaller brush the size, and I'm going to load it up with the white. Now this is very non-specific. I'm just going to pounce it, like I'm going to hold it at the very end, and I'm just going to bounce it up and down like this. Okay, so here I go. I'm just going to bounce it up and down on my tree because I'm just creating random snow. Okay, and I wouldn't mind having a little bit of you know, depth to my paint. So it's almost the thicker the better. Such a fancy technique, hey? Deb and Tracy are probably laughing at me right now. That's okay.
No, we're not.
Hey, you do what you got to do. And then I'm just going to do this in the middle. And I don't want to cover up all my green, but this is just a fast way to cover. And I mean, let's face it, it does kind of look like snow. I'm just trying not to have any hard lines. So if you see any definite hard lines, just try to get rid of them. Okay, so protect your little bits because we do need to go in with the heat gun. Okay, put your little bits somewhere where they're safe and keep an eye on them while you're drying. Okay. Alrighty. Now once he's dry enough, can you see there's a little bit of texture on there? I've made it kind of thick because I want snow on my boughs. I'm going to turn it over and we're going to do it again. It's a good thing. See, I've already got some on there. Still thin. Okay. Find your brush again. Just load it up. And here we go again. I like to do thicker on top of my, you know, when you think about where snow falls, I like to do it on top of my branches. Of course, on the top of the tree, because that's what gets it first. Okay. And if you end up with too much white, just remember you can go back in with some green and do the same thing until you get that balance that you're looking for. Everybody, you know, is individually, they've got their own likes and dislikes. So. And then again, give it a dry. He doesn't have to be completely dry because we're going to put him aside now. And I'm going to get you to wipe the white off because we don't want it all over our red truck. Then we'd have to go back in and repaint him. Okay. Now we're going to assemble. And this is where you're going to need your glue. Okay. Now I'm just using, let's see. I'm just using, you know, regular white glue that's got the lid that opens and closes, and I don't even open it fully because it comes out too fast. So we're going to start with the back of our truck. Okay, this is the back of our truck. Okay, we've painted one side half, and we have the other side that's fully red. Okay, so let's start with this side. And we're going to take our these pieces here, and we're going to just run a little bead of glue down. Let's see, to open mine a little more. I don't want it running everywhere, so there. Okay. Glue on number 1 spacer right there. And you kind of line it up with the bumper and the tires. It's pretty straightforward. We already got that guide there for you. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing for spacer number 2. I hope everybody can hear me. And there we go. Give them a press. Now this gives you the relief so that you actually have a truck box. And this is the reason why things can fit inside. Okay. Make sure your tires are well glued because we don't want them separating. There is your back fender. Okay. press down on your tires and the corners and just make sure everything is aligned and give it a press. Okay. Now we're gonna glue on the bumper. There we go. You can see me now. My glue should be on this side. There. So the reason we put this bumper on first, because it's actually a guide, so that when we put the tailgate on, we know where it sits. Okay. So he'll be the next to be glued down. Make sure he's centered and just kind of snug him up to that bumper. And then one of these little license plates goes right underneath it. Okay. Is everybody caught up? I'll give you a few minutes here. I've done this, I don't know how many times, so it's quick for me, but it might not be as quick for you.
Show us some of your other finished trucks, Karen.
I love your phone.
My minions, or
Your minions? Yes, I'm going to
show
show
us
you.
the different sizes of finished ones that you have.
Yeah, I'm going to show them at the end.
Okay, even the pretty blue one?
Of course, I have it here. I wouldn't have left them out. Okay, so if you're finished gluing those bits on, let's turn them over, because now we're going to add your front. Okay, so we're just going to see that. Go all the way up here and even get your little lights in there, rear view. If you've got too much glue, I just use my fingers to spread it out a bit, because you can kind of gauge where it's gonna, you know, seep out or slop. And there we go. Again, we just line them up by the bumper and the tires and give them a press. Normally at this stage I'm using small clamps, but I didn't bring them today either, so we're just gonna pinch it together, especially the roof and the tires. Okay, just hold it for a sec while your glue sets, and your rear view mirrors. Tires are good, rear view mirrors are good, hood is good. Okay, once they're good, we will put the front fender on the grill. And again, line them up with the bumper bumps on each side. And give them a push. Okay. License plate. Whoop. A little plate. And then your headlights. You just need a dot and put them right about there. Okay. So there you go. We've got the pieces glued together. Now what we're going to do, let's see, check my notes, make sure I haven't forgot anything. Okay, I'm back to this brush. This is a really cool little brush because it's got a rounded tip on it. Okay, I'm going to dip that in my white. And I'm just going to daub white in the headlights to give them some definition. And I'm just pouncing. And what I noticed that does is it kind of splays it a bit and gives it an actual headlight look. Again, we're not striving for perfection. Okay. And you can take your heat gun and you can dry your headlights. And I'm not going to do the back because we're going to do that differently. So now we are going to do some touch-ups. Now, black. We're going to go back to black, and I'm going to use this small brush again because I really like the tip of it. We're going to go around the outside of the entire thing because you can see on the sides where it's chipboard and glue, and you know, that might have some places that need to be pressed a bit more. But what I like to do is I like to tidy up these outlines and just take black, because when this thing is swinging around your tree or your rear view mirror or wherever you're going to hang it, you're going to see the side view. So this just tidies up the side. Okay. And the bottom. Wherever you've spilt paint, I've got silver everywhere, I've got red everywhere. This is just going to kind of bring it all together. Okay. And the good thing about it is you've already outlined it with your finger. So even if you go over a little bit, not a big deal. It's not going to show because it's already imperfect. And perfectly imperfect. My favorite saying these days. Okay. I think we got it. The only other thing I mentioned is, see how at the bottom you can still see chipboard? I like to go in there and just clean that up with some black. Because again, if this ornament is up high in your tree, you're going to see that. So I like to get in there and just tidy it up. And behind the license plates. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Now let's do some highlighting. How about that? All right. I'm going to clean the black off that brush because, oh, no, actually I'm going to use my liner. I'm going to use a smaller brush, this little liner here. And I'm going to get my yourself some more white. He kind of looks flat right now because we don't know where the sun's hitting him. We're going to give him some definition. Just go in and get a little bit of white on your brush. Now what I like to do is, this is a bit of a technique. Okay, you're going to take your white liner and we're going to put some definition in the sides here, just like this one is. Here, across the front. We're going to, this is kind of where the sun is shining on him. So lay your brush down and then give it a swoosh. One side, load your brush again. I'm going to turn this one around because I need to make it easier. Again, lay your brush down and slowly give it a swoosh. And you're going to do that wherever there's kind of a corner, a bend. Okay. Keep in mind, if you don't like it, you've got those baby wipes handy. Oops, see, I don't like that one. I'm going to baby wipe that. I think I just needed to have it at a different angle. Okay. Good example. There. Better angle, easier to brush. There we go. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Oh, okay. The other thing we're going to do, I have to have mine facing me because I haven't done this backwards. So we're going to do the truck, the definition of the truck hood. So just take your brush and in the air, kind of draw a line of where you want that hood. And once you kind of got, that memory down, just give it a little swipe. Okay. There you go. You can go over it a couple times. Nobody's looking for perfection. This truck is just not perfect. It's not supposed to be. It's old. Okay. Let's hit that with a heat gun. And then let's turn it over and let's do the same on the back. We need to know where the sun is shining on this truck. So here we go. And maybe we're going to spend it. Okay. I'm going to turn it around so it's easier for me. Feel free to turn them if it's easier. There we go. And I also like to give them a little bit across the top. Just random because the sun's hitting that too. And maybe on the back of the tailgate. There. Kind of got two birds with one stone, didn't I? Who knew? All right. Now we're going to do the tires, the treads in the tires. So what you might want to do is make sure your paint is not too sticky or thick, but not thin and runny. So dab it in a little bit of water, not too much. You can also do this with a jelly roll pen if you want to. Kind of gives it more character with a brush. So I've loaded my brush with white. And I'm just going to go in ever so gently, and I'm going to try to get 4 treads. And I'm just going to zigzag. See this one here? This has got 3 treads, so maybe I'll just go for 3. I think it's the bigger one that I had 4 on. That's getting a little thick on me. So zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And the quicker you do it, the more painless it is. If you want to save this and do it with a jelly roll pen, you can do that too. There we go. Okay. Hit it with your heat gun. Okay. And you're going to turn it over and you're going to do the other tires. There we go.
That is looking so cute.
Oh, thank you. It is a lot of fun. There's a few little details in here. We got to, the details really, they add so much character, so it's important just to pay attention to them. Okay, that being done, now this guy is so small that I'm not going to tempt his headlights with anything other than a Sharpie. Okay. And the reason I like to use Sharpies is because they don't bleed and they don't smudge. They're just a really good, that's dry, yes, it's dry. So, and again, we're not perfect. And now what I like to do is just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just creating a crosshatch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick and easy. You can also draw something in on the license plate, whether it's ho 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 or I've seen one that says was his. Thought that was kind of cute. I'm going to do just some defining on my rear view mirror. I'm going to flip that over again and think that this side is the side where the driver is looking into it. So I'm just going to do this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is the time where I'm going to define these lights as well. Sharpies are my best friend. And this is where you can do some touch-up. So I see a little place where the silver went over a little bit, so I'm going to touch it up with red. Right? That looks so wonderful. I'll give that a second coat once it dries. Here too. So you can go back into yours at any time and do touch-ups, add license plates. We are going to take now, you've got your little ho 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 stencil. This little stencil. And we're going to put them on the back bumper. And center them. You can kind of see through the stencil and you can see, you know, where that needs to be. Again, this brush is so great. I love this little brush. Thank you, Deb. Okay, I'm going to load it up with white. I'm going to take off some of the white on my mat. And I'm going to hold the stencil really tight, and I don't want it to move. And I'm just going to pounce lightly. Give it a really light coat at first. And once that's a little bit dry, we're going to go back in and do a little bit of a second. I'm just pouncing lightly, very, very lightly, making sure the stencil is very, very still. Okay. Gently loading my brush again and then going back in. That's just layering up your colors so it becomes brighter and whiter and filling in those little red spots that are sticking out. And I'm just going over this twice. Okay, so gently pull it up. You've got your ho ho ho. Give it a heat. You give it a dry. And once it's dry, I'm going to go in and I'm going to outline it with my Sharpie. Okay. You guys can finish this at home. I think you kind of get the gist of this. Okay. And now your tree should be dry. And if you wanted to go in and add more depth to this tree, you could go back in with green. You can go back in with the lighter green. Just keep playing with the green and whites. But he should fit nicely in the back, there we go, of your box. Okay. So there you have it. I actually, on this guy, I added the rest paste. So you guys, Kim manufactures some really great embossing powders, and this is the one I used. Now this one is Chunky Rust. Okay. And I didn't get a chance to include it in everybody's kit because I needed to get them shipped out on time so that you guys would have everything on time for this class. But if you want that Chunky Rust powder, Emerald Creek Craft Supplies, go onto her website and she'll be happy to provide that for you. I also wanted to show you, we are done with this guy, so I'm going to put him aside. I wanted to show you some other options because we have different sizes. First of all, we downsized. So this is a smaller kit. It's actually a fridge magnet. Okay. Smaller kit, the tree still comes in and out. Okay. Now, what's great about this one is that you can actually make two magnets because you've got the front of the truck and the back of the truck. You don't have to put them together like the ornament. You can have them both as fridge magnets. So you can get two fridge magnets out of this little kit. Okay, that's the smallest of the kits. Then we get into the wood kits. Oh, that's okay. Now, these ones, they have a 1/4 inch spacer. So these are a little bit heavier, a little bit more for shipping, but these ones are going to last you. So there's the 6 inch, comes with the tree. Oh, actually, I'm going to show you Deb's now. Deb did a 6 inch. Look at her truck. She did it in a blue. She did all the shading and the highlighting. And then she's put sparkles on her tree. See how they sparkle? I love this. And she's also got sparkles on her truck. So these are stamps from Stampendous. And she stamped them on there and she painted them. It really adds a lot of character with these little critters on there. So thank you, Deb, for doing this sample. It's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you for the wood.
Awesome, awesome. And this is the big one. I'm going to show you the 12 inch. This take up the whole screen. Again, truck comes out. This is just the back. It's plain on this side because it's actually meant to hang on your door or put in a wreath. This is a 12-inch size. I'm also, can I have that 6-inch one back on? Thank you. These ones, this one's a little bit easier to show you because these are going to be coming with accessories. This is a tailgate kit. And what you can do going forward, if you ordered these wood ones, is you can put Velcro on this tailgate kit so that it comes off. It comes with a bumper and a license plate. So you can switch it off for different seasons because we're going to be coming out with different cutouts. There's the pumpkin, and everything that I design is going to be going into the box, of course. What else do we have? Oh, we have, actually I started painting this, but I haven't got it finished. I've got to get some highlighting done. This one fits right in like that. So this is the bushel of hearts for Valentine's Day or wedding or whatever it is you want to create for this little guy. And then this little piece can go on the tailgate. Right? So all you have to do is take the Velcro off, take your accessory out, and now you've got an interchangeable piece for the time of year, the occasion. So I'm really trying to make it fun and have lots of little bits. Oh, and Deb.
Doesn't mean didn't do it. Can't prove a thing.
Look what I found that fits in there. This was actually not even designed for it. But this is...
Okay, I need that.
You can say that.